Guys, another one. This is another one that was requested by someone over on Patreon. This is another US video. Europe and US. I've got a theme here where people in Europe are talking about the US and people in the US are talking about Europe. There's a theme going on here. Let's get some Australian ones happening, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get some Australian requests in. We'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions about that too. Tariffs, taxes, and taste. Why US products struggle in Europe. Let's do it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Hopefully you do enjoy it. Let me know in the comment section if you do. Let's go. Come on.
Well, tariffs are on again. We're going to put a pause on tariffs so we can communicate. Communications aren't going well. We're going to put the highest tariffs ever on. It goes back and forth. Are you pretty exhausted about all this tariff talk? Yeah, I am too, for sure. And I tell you, I wonder if there's, sometimes I wonder, is there really any logic or thought to this, or is it just like whatever we feel like from day to day? But anyway, so I'm Lee, Betty's behind the camera, and we are here on an absolutely beautiful day in Seattle, Washington. We're going to show you some images of the city.
Wow.
We've got the beautiful Olympic Mountains behind me in the Puget Sound, so it's absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, something that, as an American from the United States who lives in Germany, and we hear about this tariff talk, some things that I've been thinking about recently are, what's the purpose of it? So it seems to be like there's a belief, amongst our president and a lot of people who live in the United States, they seem to think that Germans or Europeans in general don't buy products from the United States. And I don't know where that thought comes from, because where the way I see it, I mean, Europeans in general, Germans buy a lot of products from the United States, especially technological products and the service industry. I mean, you look, a lot of people have iPhones, a lot of people have Apple products, a lot of people wear American clothing. You see Levi's all over the place. Food and drink, American fast food is everywhere. So they do use a lot of American products, but it seems to be time and time again, the big concern is, why don't Europeans drive American-made cars? Why don't they drive cars that come from the United States? And I guess
Okay. I know the answer. Let's see if he is correct. I'm hoping he's correct. Please.
Blame is on tariffs, so we're going to jack up the tariffs on European products because, people in the U.S. love to drive foreign cars. We drive a lot of cars from Japan. We love cars from Germany. So why don't Europeans feel the same about our cars? And anyone who asks that question, I have to wonder, have you ever been to Europe? Have you ever been to Germany? And if you have you ever driven over there? And if you have, then you'd probably realize why they don't drive a lot of U.S.-made cars, because they're just not practical for the roads for a few reasons. Number one, for the
Bingo. Right there, ladies and gentlemen.
For the most part, U.S. cars are too big. A lot of European roads are designed around medieval cities, and sure, the highways are plenty big, but the small roads in the towns and villages just aren't big enough to accommodate huge Suburbans or Tahoes or whatever the case may be. So the vehicles just are not practical in Europe. And also, and parking can also be very tight. I mean, if you've got a big, American truck, you're going to have a hard time finding parking in many European cities, towns, and villages. It's just not. It's not going to be easy. And then you've got the fuel cost. Fuel is a lot more expensive in Europe than it is in the United States. And it
is double. In Spain, it is double the price of Australian petrol. Trust me, I lived there for 10 years. I know. In Spain, the petrol prices are ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Hear a lot of Americans complain about the price of gas, but it's nothing in the United States compared to what it is in Europe. So,
Oh, yeah.
and American cars just tend to use a lot of fuel compared to American and Asian cars. Now, Europeans will buy foreign cars
I think he was meant to say compared to European and Asian cars.
Because if you look at the car market in the European Union, about 25% of the new cars sold in Europe right now are Asian brands. They either come from Japan or...
I've got a Japanese model Nissan X-Trail, and let me just say the Japanese model Nissan X-Trail for fuel consumption, wow. Oh, just... It's a sensational car. Sensational.
South Korea, for the most part, and also they are buying more Chinese cars now too, and
that is true.
You know, and if you look even more closely at that, so about 25% are brands from Asia, but and then I think about 13% of the cars sold in Europe are actually produced in Asia and shipped to Europe. So they will buy foreign cars, but if you look at the Asian cars, they identify the market in Europe and they adapt their product to the market. Where and you know, I think Japanese cars are great at that, and even South Korean cars, because you'll see Japanese cars in the United States, you'll see Toyotas in the United States that you'll never see in Europe, because they develop big cars for the American market because they know people in the U.S. want big cars. So Toyota makes big cars. They make, you know, the Toyota Tundra pickup trucks. They make Land Cruisers and things like that for the American market that they don't sell in Europe because Europeans don't want them. So if Asian, you know, car manufacturers can do that, why can't American car? And when we talk about the practicality of autos, you know, from my experience from living in Germany, Germans are very practical people, right? They want to spend their money on something that they need and they're going to get use out of. So for the few people in Germany that, say, for example, need a pickup truck, more often than not, it's going to be an American brand. You see, actually, you'll see quite a few Ford F-150s, you see some Ford Rangers, and you see some Ram pickup trucks. You don't see very many Chevrolets. I'm not sure why that is, but whenever you see a pickup truck, more often than not, it is.
Do I have to admit though, in Australia, a lot of the American cars are massive, especially the bigger ones, and you're starting to see them more and more. I know Ford was originally Australian, but you see a lot of Rangers now. You see a lot of Rams here in Australia. And I'm just like, it's just ridiculous. And a lot of them break down so easily as well. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. There's so many of them. You see them on Facebook Marketplace, on the side of the roads, people broken down, and there's just like people I know that had a couple of them, and it's just they've had so many problems with the engines. It's just over time, it's just crazy, man, absolutely crazy. Whereas I know people that have had Nissan X-Trails from like 2004. 2003, 4, or 2005, and not even a single problem with them. It's just,
is an American brand, even though Volkswagen and Mercedes actually make pickup trucks, but I would say you see more American brand trucks in Europe than you do German brands. And so they will buy American products if it's something they need, but they're just not going to buy big Yukons or Suburbans because they just don't need them. They're not practical. They use too much gas and they don't fit on their roads. And the other thing the other product, switching gears a little bit, that I hear a lot of talk about is, the President Trump wants Europeans and he wants the EU to buy more food from the United States. And I would say a big reason why a lot of food from the United States isn't sold in Europe is because it breaks EU laws. The European Union has very strict laws on food safety, the ingredients in foods, and they just simply don't think a lot of American products are safe, to be honest. I know there are products, I think Mountain Dew, for instance.
Look at Red 40 in America. Honestly, Americans, I feel sorry for you guys. I really do. Some of the things you guys have in your products, I'm just like, what? How is that allowed? Like, dude, it's crazy.
Isn't sold in Germany and some other things, a lot of colorings we use. So again, if we want to sell our food products or more of our food products in the European Union, in my opinion, we need to adapt our product to meet the market instead of expecting the market to adapt to the product. So just my thoughts, who knows what's going to happen in this world. These talks of tariffs, they're on again, they're off again. They're going to be 50%, they're going to be 100%. They're going to be 15%. I don't know. So just curious, what are your thoughts? If you live in Europe, do you own any American-made products? And now that I think about it, I hear a lot of people talking about, they are much less likely. A lot of Europeans are much less likely to purchase products made by a company from the United States than they were 6 months ago. So I think our business in Europe is going to go down because of that, regardless of tariffs, just because the consumers are honestly a little angry. But so if you live in Europe, what are your thoughts? Are you more or less likely to purchase a product from the United States now? What do you feel about tariffs? What do you think about food from the United States? Are you less likely to eat it because you have safety concerns? And cars from the U.S. Would you purchase a U.S. car if the prices were lower, even though maybe it uses more fuel? I'd love to hear your thoughts. My fellow Americans, let me know what you think. How have the tariffs affected you? Have they affected you at all so far? Personally, I don't think I've seen a lot of influence the time I've been here, but let me know what you think. Appreciate you watching. If you found this interesting, found it helpful, give it a thumbs up, and let us know in the comments what your thoughts are. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, we've seen this fella talk. His name is, let me just reiterate his name. Well, Traveling Expats. He's only got 4,000 subs, and he knows what he was talking about. He knows what he was talking about. Let me just say that from this video, right, we get to see that, yes, the steep tariffs and the high import taxes and everything like that plays a role. But yet at the same time, like I was telling you guys, the products as well have to be convenient to the people you're selling to. And I think that's why a lot of companies fail and a lot of companies are successful overseas, is because they read the market, they read it for their value. Yeah. You're not going to get someone, for example, you're not going to open up an expensive high-class restaurant in an area where you know that the income is low, is very, very low, well below the low income threshold. You're not going to do that. It's silly. So that contributes to a lot of things. Yeah. Also, what a lot of the US companies put in their products too, they have to be very careful overseas as well, in the EU, in Australia as well. When you learn about the EU trade policies, yeah, and the way that they really concentrate what goes on their shelves is incredible. For example, in Spain, we had it. You had chips and everything like that, yeah. But the products that you saw, there wasn't a wide range of them, yeah. So when you go to Spain, you don't get all these different flavors of chips. They may have only 5 or 6 different flavors of chips because they have real restrictions on their food products. And that's how a lot of the EU operates, yeah? And the brands that are in America that adapt their recipes to the European customers or consumers, they're the ones that are successful, yeah? And people that is what he was saying and what I was just reiterating just then. If people are looking for something specifically, like their job is required to carry heavy things or, you know what I mean, transport heavy things, then they will look at those muscle trucks as well, yeah, the utes and everything like that. It just happened too that the Australian companies left Australia, the manufacturers as well, and they bought up by Americans, and now America makes the utes and everything like that. So I feel like as long as the American companies abide by like their strict laws in the EU, the strict laws, not just in the EU, everywhere else, but the strict laws and what they put in their products, at the end of the day, it comes down to what I was just about to explain right now. If you're going to give good stuff to the EU, to Australians, being an American company, then there's no excuse for you guys to look after your own Americans yourselves. There's no excuse to feed the Americans crap. There's no excuse to put things in their products that aren't safe at all. There's no excuse for it. Just to make something look more attractive. Although there are lots of people that inject stuff into their face to make themselves look attractive. So, hey, that's another thing. That's another story for another day. I want to know your opinion. Like I said in the previous video, I want to see your opinion. I want you to write in the comment section what you think down below. Let me know in the comments. And thank you very much for requesting. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.